Welcome to Cord Cutting Today, where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including a first look at the new Roku, well, maybe Roku Ultra, but a new Roku in beta testing. Spectrum is suing an HOA, we'll explain why, and Sinclair wants to be done with Bally Sports. These stories and a whole lot more are coming up here in a second, but if you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. I'll put a link to each story there so you can read about them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, do me a big favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow, helping us support our families, and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of cable TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. So with that said, let's jump into it, starting off with new Roku on the way. Now, recently Cord Cars News was contacted by somebody who is a beta tester of the new Roku that appears to be a Roku Ultra, and gave us some details about it. Now, a few interesting things here. Maybe the most important, I'll throw it up here real quick, is the new remote. It has a couple new buttons, which includes a guide button, which jumps you into the Roku guide, allows you to see everything coming up there on their streaming channels and more from the Roku channel. There's also a button with a rocket on it. That, at the moment, apparently doesn't do anything but give an error message. That rocket could be nothing but a placeholder. It could not even be an actual button when they're done. Maybe they have a different purpose for that they weren't quite ready to start testing. But it is interesting to see that rocket button on it. We'll see how that plays out, but very interesting. The Roku Ultra itself looks very similar to current models with it. Slight changes, a few minor cosmetic details. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get information about like what the processor was. Does it have Wi-Fi 6E, for example? Gigabit Ethernet and other cool features are still unknown at this time. But what is known is that they are publicly beta testing through private sources out there the new Rokus. Now, it's still possible other Roku models will be in the market, like the new Roku Stick, which is also probably due soon for a refresh. The current Roku Ultra was first announced back in 2020, had a minor refresh last year. The box remained the same, but got a new remote. That was really all that was different. So check it out. I'll put a link in the show notes to see even more photos of this device, but we'll love to have your feedback. What do you want to see in a new Roku? But it does seem like they're coming. All right, Spectrum is suing a group of homeowners associations in Florida, arguing that they failed to give them proper notice. I think what's more interested here is, even though this HOA is deciding not to go with Spectrum, they're going to go with a competitor for their internet service and TV service. Spectrum says they're very unhappy about that, and they're suing, saying that the contract wasn't properly followed. Of course, the HOA probably thinks they did. But what's more interesting here is how important HOAs and apartment complexes, even more so, are to cable companies. Increasingly, you're seeing free internet, free TV baked into your rent at apartment complexes, for example. And that's because these give sometimes up to thousands in larger apartment complexes of subscribers to places like Spectrum, Comcast, and more for this. And by losing them, it's a big hit. And the time they're struggling to hold on to people, having these contracts that say everybody in the HOA, usually like condominiums or retirement communities get these, or everybody in an apartment complex has to pay for this service. It allows Spectrum, even if they give them a discounted rate, to get a ton of subscribers they may not have gotten otherwise. Increasingly, a lot of people are foregoing traditional cable TV and just going with internet. For example, a few years ago, Spectrum said in 2018 that, hey, the average Spectrum TV and internet customer pays over $180 a month. But they were willing to offer this apartment complex $75 a month deal with this. Again, it goes back to the idea that, hey, we're just going to get hundreds of subscribers through this deal, so we're going to give you a little bit better deal. And the end customer can't say no. It's baked into the rent. They want to live there, they have to pay for it. So it'll be interesting to see how this happens, how this particular case plays out. But I think the most important thing here is how important these are becoming to cable companies and how they're going to really fight to keep these deals out there. All right, the Bally Sports bankruptcy is getting kind of weird once again. And again, I've talked about this a lot. I understand that some people don't care about this, but it does have a lot of impact on the future of TV. But Sinclair has filed a counter filing to Bally Sports, parent company Diamond Sports, suing its owner Sinclair. So even though Bally Sports has become an independent company, it's still being run by Sinclair through a management fee in other areas. And Sinclair says, hey, Bally Sports owes them $147 million. And if they don't want to pay up on that, maybe they just need to find a different management company, and maybe Sinclair completely breaks free from Bally Sports and no longer manages the channel. Be interested to see what happens if they do stop managing the channel. What would Bally Sports look like? You know, how important is the Sinclair staff and management to the day-to-day operations of Bally Sports? That's a very interesting question there. Bally Sports is arguing through their parent company, Diamond Sports Group, that, hey, Sinclair improperly spent over $1 billion of money they badly need right now, and Sinclair is like, well, you owe us more money with this deal. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Bally Sports has some big negotiations coming up with NBA and NHL teams, plus cable networks like Comcast, DirecTV, and I think even Spectrum is coming up. Let me check that real quick. With this, yes, Comcast, Spectrum, and DirecTV are reportedly coming up on contract talks with Bally Sports. DirecTV has publicly stated that they intend to ask for a price reduction, arguing that Bally Sports has even fewer sports now than they did a few years ago when this deal was struck. So why should they pay more money when they have less content? We'll see how this plays out, but very interesting to see Sinclair basically be like, hey, we kind of, we're fine. We'll walk away from this. You don't have to pay us. We'll just stop managing your service. We'll see how that plays out. All right, recently you may have seen our next story or heard that in Australia and New Zealand and other parts that Disney was going to stop selling physical media. Well, that may not be the case everywhere. In the United States, Disney has announced that some Disney Plus originals like The Mandalorian, WandaVision, and more are going to be coming out on Blu-ray in 4K this year. So physical media not completely dead. If you've not been a Disney Plus subscriber, if you've heard a lot about The Mandalorian, or maybe you just want to get the Blu-ray of The Mandalorian, you can do that now later this year. Disney has not completely given up on physical media, which is pretty cool. Anybody here still like physical media? Leave me a comment, let me know. All right. Continuing on, Verizon has announced that they have a new 5G home internet modem coming out. This is their new 5G home internet service. This modem includes access to more bands that they offer. More bands means they will be able to give you faster internet by being able to have more bandwidth for it. Very nice move here. They also announced that their new business version of their 5G home internet is now available in all the markets that they cover. With that, they'll be able to bring you business quality internet here wirelessly through Verizon. Very interested to see how that plays out. But good news, this new model is on the market. It'll give you better, faster internet speeds from 5G home internet. And it's important to remember, though, that today is the last day for the $25 price point to lock that in. It starts at $25 or $35. Pricing is going up $10 starting tomorrow, depending on when you watch this, if you watch it when I first released it. Speaking of 5G home internet, AT&T has announced that they are rolling out their version of 5G home internet. It starts at $55 a month, only available in select markets. New markets like Detroit, Chicago, and other areas have been announced. They're going to expand coverage of this service. It's really targeting customers on DSL that they want to try to push off of DSL as they try to back off of DSL. They haven't sold DSL in a while, but there's still a lot of grandfathered customers still on DSL that they'll love to get off of it, maybe into this. For some customers, this could be a really great deal. If you live in an area without a lot of options, now maybe you have T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T 5G home internet. Competition's a great thing. But again, only available in select markets. They just added a ton. Link in the show notes if you want to see all the markets that AT&T's 5G home internet just rolled out to. Next story up, Netflix has announced that, hey, that final DVD shipment, if you're still a DVD customer, you don't need to return that. So at the end of September, Netflix will send out its final shipment of DVDs to customers. Originally, they reported that they wanted all those DVDs back, and if you fail to return them, they would fine you or give you a penalty or whatever they do for that. But now, just this week, they've announced that, hey, never mind, we don't care, we're happy, you just keep your DVDs. I think speculation here real quick. I wonder if they intended to sell those DVDs, and then they kind of looked at the market and said, we have all these DVDs, the cost of selling them, listing them all on eBay or having a garage sale or whatever they maybe have been interested in doing to sell all these, will have been trouble. Maybe their licensing didn't let them sell it. I don't know. Maybe it's just best for them. They decided profit-wise, time-wise, employees-wise to just say, hey, keep those DVDs. Now, some Netflix lucky customers will get up to 10 DVDs at the end. So they're like, hey, put stuff in your queue, and you'll be able to get all of it at the very end with that. But again, you have to be at DVD.com, which is a Netflix company. It's their DVD service. Anybody here still subscribe to that? I did it for so long, but it's been quite a few years now since I've had it. And our last story up to the day, MeTV has filed a new trademark, or the parent company of MeTV, for Toon TV, which is the way the trademark is described. They haven't been awarded it yet, but they filed for it. It sounds like either it's going to be a block of entertainment on MeTV, or maybe its own channel. That's speculation. But Toon TV is a trademark they're filing that they intend to use for some type of TV broadcast. Now, they've had a very successful morning cartoon program airing classics like Tom and Jerry and more in the morning. Are they looking to expand that maybe into a larger block, maybe into a 24/7 channel? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think that MeTV will do with a Toon TV, and would you be interested in a dedicated 24/7 Toon TV channel with classic cartoons from like Tom and Jerry age? Leave me a comment and let me know. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. I'll be back again tomorrow. Take care, be safe, have a fantastic day, everybody.